And now it's time for Who's Views with JT and the WHOTASTIC Panel.
Here we are then, we're back with Who's Views. This is Who's Views Recommends. Hello everybody, nice to see you. Nice. Thank you very much. Look who's with me, everybody. I've got Phil, I've got Miles, and I've got the lady of the chat herself, Kirstelicious, so Dr. Ian says. And we are here to talk about and to see if they recommend Stranger Things 5. Not 1, 2, 3, or 4, no, but 5. Yeah, Kirsty, do that again. 5. That's it. So we're all here to come and join us in the chat. Good to see you. Let us know if you have watched this thing and what you think of this. Now, I'm going to be very upfront and honest at the very top of the show here. I have not watched this, partly because I can't be arsed. This thing seems to have been going for about 100 years now. How? And one of the things I want you to tell me about this finale series is how have you managed to keep attention to this thing? I've lost completely. I think I saw 4. Can't remember a thing about it. A lot's happened since then. Don't know anything about it. So, you know, this is going to be really interesting, I think, for me as well, who viewers, to see what these 3 are telling me all about it. So, who wants to kick off?
Miles. Well, I will just say that I'm the same boat, right? I feel like this has gone on for way too long. And I think it's now 9 years or something. I can barely remember the first couple of seasons at all, to be honest. Yeah. I can only really remember from series 3 onwards, and that's about it. And so when season 5 came out, I could barely remember anything. It's been like 4 years since the last season, is it not?
It's not really. Is it that long?
It has, is it not? Yeah, 4 years.
Sorry, they got delayed. 2022 season 4 because they got delayed. It would have come out year or 2024, but they got delayed because of the writer's strike.
Right, okay. so
well, I had a foolproof system though for getting rid of the time breaks, and I only actually started watching it about 3 months before Christmas. And it's because I tried to watch it when it first came out. I got a bit bored, to be honest, and then I wandered away from it, and then I didn't watch any of the other seasons, and then I think one of Lucy's sisters was banging on about, how you'd like Stranger Things because you like that sort of thing. So I gave it a go, and actually it got a lot better after the first few episodes of Kids on Bikes. It got better, but I couldn't tell you what happened in what season. It's all just one kind of big old block for me.
Well, that's unfortunate because I was going to ask you, and Kirsty, you might be able to do this. I was going to ask you to paint the picture of where we're up to before Stranger Things 5 starts. Because these people in it were kids when it started, weren't they? And now they're all, I mean, they've got families and kids, some of them, I believe. I mean, it's happened to say, is that Kirsty, is that put into Stranger Things 5? Have they explained that this is now over years rather than weeks or whatever it's going to be?
Yeah, you're following the progression. So we start in November 1983. And it's the 4 boys, and they're very nerdy. They're into the Dungeons and Dragons. They're like the nerdy cool kids at school. And then in Hawkins, there is the thing going on that Papa, Dr. Brenner, he's doing all these things with the kids, and these kids are telekinetic, and they've got all these magical things.
Right, yeah.
And what I remember from like 11, Millie Bobby Brown, she escapes. They find her, and there's the Demogorgon is kicking around, which is the big, you'll see in the adverts, the big monster thing that goes, bleh.
Yes. Stephen's giving me a drawing of it there. Look on his avatar.
And perfect. And Will, one of the main characters, he's disappeared, but he's been taken, and now he's got what we don't know in season 1, he's actually got the mind player Juju in him, and he's connected to it. He disappears, and there's the whole lights of Winona Ryder going off her nut. And then Millie Bobby Brown has to save the day and sends the Demogorgon through a wall, which is into the Upside Down, and she disappears. Season 2, she's disappeared for a year. So we're now like 85-ish. Can't do maths. There's now dead dogs. Will's is got a bit possessed again because of the mind flare. Samwise Gamgee's in it this time. He dies. They managed to save Will. Season 3, it's summertime. The mind flare's there. Kills Max's brother or stepbrother.
Don't remember.
And then season 4 for me is the best one, where it's Vecna and it's Jamie Bauer Campbell, and because there's a Dungeons and Dragons theme throughout the whole thing, and he's possessing these people in a horrific way that they're all ill. And then they have to defeat Vecna. They think he killed Vecna, but actually Will's like, I still feel him. It's giving the back of my neck because there are connections in Russia and California, because in season 3 there was the Russians.
I remember that. Got confused with that.
And in season 5, it's trying to kill Vecna, the mind flare, and just get rid of everything. Ta-da!
It's really simple then, really.
That was brilliant. Thank you very much. And we've got in the chat, we've got Davey B96 saying, evening panel, how much is this going over your head, JT? The whole lot, to be quite honest. The problem is, Davey B, because it's been going on for so bloody long, I can't remember the first series. I vaguely remember the 4th. I remember the Russian bit that Kirsty's talking about there, but I was confused as to why Russians were suddenly involved with it. It felt like a different show. But it's like I'm saying, because it's gone on for so long, personally, I've lost interest in it. I've really lost interest in it. So I don't know. So that's why I'm interested to see what these three are going to say and whether they're going to recommend it at the end of the show. And I just wanted to bring back, PTA was with us as well, Paul Ashworth. How do you all? I watched the first 2 episodes of the first season, thought it was a load of crap.
Oh, so did I, but then I was really bored. And then kind of came back into it. And you got to get, I don't like it when people go, oh, you've got to watch the first few episodes to get into it. If you have to watch the first few episodes to get into it, it's shit. You should be in it from the first one. But anyway, it gets better.
Well, just as well.
It also then gets worse. But then it gets better.
Right.
And then it gets worse again. It's very much a roller coaster of better and worse.
David Shaw's with us. Hi, David. Happy New Year to you. He's saying to us, Happy New Year. Stranger Things is brilliant. I've watched it all. Good to know that you liked it. So I take it you've seen Stranger Things 5 as well, David. Kirsty's brought us up to date as to where we are. I'm exhausted. So she's now, you guys are now going to tell us about series 5 then. Now, this is the last one, isn't it?
Well, is it, Kirsty? Because you started this in our little group chat last night saying, well, it might not be the end. And then all of today, Instagram's been full of, well, if you look at the order that the books are put in, and then actually she didn't have a nosebleed. Well, there were speakers going. And some of it's quite compelling, but I don't think they're clever enough to do what any of these people have found. But is it the end, Kirsty?
Well, it is the end. But there's nowadays people can't accept that it's over, or you just can't please everyone. So episode 8 finished on New Year's Day for us here in the UK. It dropped at 1. But now there's a theory, because it's January 7th, that today there's an episode going to drop, because some of them are still doing press, even though the thing's over. And there's like someone's made a video and it's spread like wildfire that there's like 35 clips. And there's theories that we're going to get an episode today called The Conformity Gate that Vecna has lost.
Oh, I am so confused now.
Or Vecna's won, and that is actually an illusion. And this episode's going to drop. But actually, it's just a documentary that's going to happen next week. And people are just getting their knickers in a twist. So that's when Phil was like, I'm watching it. And I was like, it might not be the last one.
No!
Oh, my goodness. So Kirsty is now putting it out there for us that there might be some sort of spin-off or another episode or something about this coming along. Okay, so... okay, how have they got up to that point then? Let me know what you've thought about this. How many episodes is in this series, by the way?
8, yeah.
8 of them. Oh, no, okay.
But then the 8th one is like 2 hours. The finale is... Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
It's
is it?
long.
How many hours is it?
Well, I think, what is it, an hour each for the episodes? Something like that. And then,
right.
And then 2 for the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, about 9 hours.
So it's a 2-hour finale type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as a whole, I think like the stories. So Are we spoiling? We are spoiling.
Yes,
we?
I mean, yeah,
We're
you can
talking
talk about the
openly.
pros and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
So now
I'm not that
Hawkins.
precious, viewers. I'm not. I just don't care. Just don't care.
So Hawkins, home of all these rifts and stuff, is now kind of surrounded by a big old fence, and there's a military base in the middle. And for some reason, everybody's just carrying on as normal. It's like
Hawkins in Cardiff.
You'd think so.
And that's a bit strange. It's quite a big jump, isn't it? To say, oh, okay, no one's asked. We're all just going to the shops. And
Because season 4 ended in such a great dramatic way that you're watching, because there's been the earthquake sort of things. So there's been a rip through. There's 4 rips. It's been kind of foreshadowed that this is going to happen. There's a crack in the city or the town, and you watch this, that their whole town has just gone to pot. That the sky's going black and red because there's a rip. All these beautiful wee kind of flowers, they're all disintegrating. They're turning into dust. And they're all that kind of typical, the end of a show, staring into the abyss going, what's about to happen?
very dramatic.
There's a big crescendo and they're all holding hands, and Will can feel Vecna on the back of his neck sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, the start of season 5, I wasn't really feeling that one, that it's like they've got tectonic plates on the crack and they're going skiing and they're under lockdown and they're having to get the military and whatnot, and everything's happy and cheery.
Oh,
And
so it didn't pick up from where it left off then?
Not really. A big jump, like 18
big jump
months.
of time, yeah.
Oh, right. So we're not in the 80s for Series 5.
Yeah, it's right at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. 86, 87, I don't know, somewhere like that. 87, I don't know.
86 for season 4, and they graduate in the class of 89.
Yeah.
And it's 8 months later after the events of 11. So, yeah.
Because that's what made one of the things about Stranger Things special and different, wasn't it? It was the whole 80s feel to it, and that's what they sold it on from the title sequence onwards, basically. Felt like something you watch on a VHS.
And I've said all along, like, because people say, what, and I do think that if it didn't have that 80s thing, I think it's actually quite a kind of average science fiction TV show.
Right.
I think there's something about the fact that they've done this whole Dungeons and Dragons 80s cassette tapes, bright colors thing that makes it stand out. That's made it probably get more attention than it would have got if it had just been another kind of modern day, science fiction program about other worlds and stuff.
Mr. Lady in the chat and I've been saying, like, give it 20 odd years and they'll do a reboot of this and it'll be the 2010s and they'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons with their iPod 9. Fine.
Well, as long as they can shoot it over 5 years or 6 years rather than 10 or 15 or wherever we've been with now. Listen, we've got Stephen Braddock in the chat saying to us, guys, I love season 1, but I wasn't so keen on season 2. I like season 3 and I love season 4. Season 5 was solid, but not perfect. But it was at least an ending that wasn't another Game of Thrones or shooty Doctor Who. Well, I'm pleased about that. At least, the Stranger Things fans may have got some sort of payoff. You correct me if I'm wrong. Rick Storm is with us saying season 5 ending was shockingly bad. But then this is what we've come to expect from all of our popular franchises for the last decade. Interesting. Don't know what you think about that one. And Davey B96 saying it's kind of like Primeval without the dinosaurs and it's 80s American. Well, Primeval was something else that went downhill after the first series for lots of behind-the-scenes reasons. Stephen is also saying to us it was 1989 because Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is playing at the Hawkins Cinema.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's just say hello to Marie, who's with us as well. Marie UK.
Hi, Marie.
Lovely. Hello, everyone. I'm enjoying Who's Views, taking my mind off starting my new job tomorrow. Well, don't worry about it, darling. It's just new.
And what new job is it?
Yeah, tell us what you're going to be doing. And good luck. Good luck for it as well.
You'll smash it. You'll be fine.
You won't be working in a place called Hawkins by any chance. Don't do it. Don't go. Don't go. Right. So what Rick was saying there, season 5 ending was shockingly bad, but this is what we've come to expect from all the popular franchises. What do you guys make of what he was saying there?
It's up to your interpretation, isn't it? I don't know. I wasn't overly satisfied with how the show ended. I think there's only a few ways it could have gone. Everyone expected it to be some sort of fever dream type ordeal. It was all right. It was all right. If we're going are we going major spoilers?
Yes, you can talk about anything you like.
I think I would have just preferred.
I don't care.
Well, I think I would have just preferred if they killed off L, to be honest.
Who?
L, 11.
Oh, the 11.
Yeah.
The lead person. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, they do this whole thing. Is she dead or is she alive? And
does anybody care at this particular point, though? Because they've done that an
No.
awful lot throughout the 4 previous series, haven't they? You know.
Well, with
Yeah.
Hopper wants to kill himself every season, so there's no shock there. But 11, I just couldn't care less if she was dead or not, to be honest.
Mm. Mm.
But they've left it so open-ended that if they did want to bring it back, it's easy for them to do it.
Surely the actors wouldn't agree to another series. No, it would have to be some sort of spin-off with a new cast or something. Because again, part of the magic of this thing at the beginning was it was kids, it was young, you know, it was a bit like E.T. in that sense, and that also the Goonies and all that sort of stuff. It suited the time scale that they were also putting it in, you know, the kids with the bikes and the adventures going off and all that sort of stuff. But now here they are as adults. Does it not change the dynamic of the show?
Yeah, it was much better when they were kids, but like I said, that's because they waited too long. It's too long between seasons. Like these people are fully grown adults now. Like it's just ridiculous. Like even like the little girl, Holly, what her name was.
Yeah.
Like she was supposed to be playing a 9-year-old. It was just silly. It was just so silly. It's not believable now that these characters are supposed to be the age that they are. And I've lost track of what age that actually they were supposed to be in the show because of the constant time jumps. 18 months later, a year later, it's just how old are these children? It feels like they've been in high school for like 20 years.
Yeah, you were stuck there. You were put back each year because you were thick. David's telling us here, David Show's telling us it was a good ending. What happened to 11 is a bit of a cliffhanger, which you guys have more or less said as well.
So, I mean, if I just weighed in, you know my thoughts, because I think I've told all of you now. So I came into it last night and I had 90 minutes left because I've been cramming it in so that I could like crowbar into today's episode.
Yeah.
And there was this big fight against the big baddie, and there's Vecna's in there, and then Vecna dies, and everyone's like, hey, and then it kind of finishes, and I was like, oh, well, chuff me, that was good. I mean, time went really quickly, and I checked how long was left on Sky, and it was like, there's another bloody hour, and so then they all go home, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's wrap that up then. Then there's this bit with Elle, and I was like, all right, well, that's wrap that bit up then, and
oh no,
then they were at home, and then all right, well, let's wrap that up. Then they graduated, and I was like, oh, all right, let's wrap that up. And it just kept bloody going. And like you said, Kirsty, that people can't accept its ending. I found it hard to accept it was going to end. It just kept going. And honestly, I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It was like if they'd have just got back, and then they could have done the L thing, you know, the dramatic death, and then called it a day. I think I'd have gone, oh, that was really good, and I would have quite enjoyed it. But just the prolonged death at the end.
The one thing that annoyed me about the army bit, when like the whole battle scene, fine, like where's the Demogorgons, where's the Demi-Dogs? You were just dealing with Vecna and the Mind Flayer, and that's another thing we have to add to it as well. That season 5, one of the characters, Will, we've always known. He was one of these kids. You've always known he's gay, right? And it was this big,
I've heard of this. Yeah.
big coming out speech. It took about like 6 minutes of an episode.
But they only had 5 minutes. They were like, "Oh, we've got to go in 5 minutes."
And he's done song and dance, going like the episode, but I'm gay. So it's the power of gay that he's saving them from the Mind Flayer as well, because he's interconnected because of season 2. So there was this whole big battle scene, which could have been longer, and there's actually folks that have CGI'd stuff to make the battle even more. But then when they get back into the real side and they're about to kind of boom the upside down, and not Linda Carter, what's her face? Sarah Connor.
Linda Carter. That's a different one. But she sachets in. All right, this is the twist, Justin. You'd like this. There's a lot of sequins.
Sarah Connor comes in because she's in season 5 and she's part of the military, and they're trying to get 11. And then 11 dies and Sarah Connor just disappears.
But what a complete waste of time Sarah Connor was.
Yeah, exactly. Do something with her.
yeah, you got a badass sort of woman actor, and you all expect her to be a bit tough and no nonsense and whatever. And she's just kind of shouts at some soldiers and moves on, and then next scene she shouts at some more soldiers, and doesn't really. I think if she wasn't there, it wouldn't have changed anything.
No,
Right.
It was more they've got the actress and we want to put her in, but we don't really want to change the story. So can we just like, yeah, she was filler, wasn't she?
Elle sacrifices herself in that whole episode. It's Linda Carter, Sarah Connor chasing them in the right side up, trying to find out what they're doing, and eventually they catch them, and they're blasting sonic booms at Elle, so she can't do all her telekinesis malarkey. And she basically sacrifices herself. That's what people think, that this is the whole thing. Is she dead or not dead? That could have been done better, because there was still so much of the episode to go. They could have done something more with that.
Yes. I think
dealt into it, because it's just, military disappear.
that last hour of goodbyes and catching up and reminiscing and looking kind of forlornly at sunsets could have been filled with something a lot more exciting and I think a lot more satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting. So, as I say, I don't really remember much of the previous 4 series, although I did watch them all. So this is coming as news to me about all the did this story, did this and thanks to Marie for telling us she's going to be wearing Spire Healthcare, helping people arrange appointments, more time off and more pay. Yay!
Yeah, sounds wicked. I mean,
always a good thing. Yeah, it is always a good thing. Derek is saying to us, actually, at least this was better than the last 2 series of Doctor Who and the War of the Sea and the Dan. Would that be fair enough, guys?
Yeah.
I think anything's better than that.
Yeah, good to go through like the last couple of series of Shooty, and with the war between the land and the boar. Credit where credit's due. I've got some gripes to pick with Stranger Things, but at least it had a science fiction element to it, and it had that science fiction, but there was also not just pure what Russell wants, that it's fantasy and it's his way or the highway. You could lose yourself with this. There were certain things you could just kind of go, let it slide with this program, and you could totally just lose yourself to it, which I loved about this series from start to finish. You could sort of lose yourself, and there was the twists and the turns and the science fiction, which I miss with Doctor Who, which I felt quite comfortable and quite homely at that quality of that. So I'll always, in a sense, again, I've got gripes with season 5 because I think season 4 out of all is the best one, but I still enjoy that science fiction, what I just wanted with my Doctor Who.
Yeah, there is a lot that's good about it, and then maybe I do feel possibly I've sounded quite down on the whole thing. There's elements of it that I thought were really great. I think most of the bits with Vecna in are great. Do you know when he's his creepy human self? I'm very bad at names. Mr. What's it? Is it?
Yeah.
I thought all of that was quite intriguing. Like, it was obvious it was him. There was no kind of, I think there was this bit where you kind of saw him and they went, oh, it's Henry, and they went, oh. It was like, well, that's pretty bloody obvious who it is. But I liked it. And I liked the whole thing of, like, she knew it wasn't real because the center of the roundabout was grey and it wasn't red. And I thought bits of it were really clever, and I was really engaged in it. But there were other bits of it that they kind of grind it to a halt. Like the big coming out scene, I thought, you know, it was in the middle of something building up, and it killed it. And then it had to build up again. And then the big emotional ending was a bit much for me. But fundamentally, yeah, I did actually really enjoy it. So if I do sound like I'm being down on it, I'm not. There was a lot I liked.
I'm glad you mentioned the fact that there was some science fiction in this, but it's interesting, Kirst, to hear what you're saying, though, because ironically, of course, Stranger Things was one of the things RTD wanted Doctor Who to be like. So from what you're saying, I mean, there's no way it was even like any of the previous 4. So this one really... Did Stranger Things 5 build on the previous 4 series properly then, with that element of sci-fi and what have you? I mean, I don't understand why one of the characters suddenly came out as gay. That never... I mean, to me, that's just tick boxing exercising again.
He's always known. He was one of those people that you'd always known. You were just like...
But the story reason for it was because Vecna knew his secrets, and he knew, you know, that he was a gay, and then he showed him some things in his head that these friends would leave him in the future or something like that.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
But there was no, and maybe I missed it, Kirsty, and you might be able to correct me, but I don't think there was a bit before it where Vecna goes, I know your bloody secret. And I don't think there was a bit afterwards where Vecna went, I'm going to reveal your big secret now. Oh, no, I can't, because they already know. You are sorry.
Why are you?
For me, though, what you guys are saying there about this whole thing, actually, I find quite insulting as a gay man, because, you know, they're playing on the fact that there's all this nonsense going on now, that being same-sex attracted is trauma. It's trauma. It's trauma. And you need to come out. Well, loads of bull that is, you know.
I rolled my eye at the end because at the end they're having one last game of Dungeons and Dragons, and Will, one of the characters, he's like the storyteller. He's always been the one who's conducted the games. Yeah. And they're like, oh, story, and he goes through each of the characters, and like the Knight and the Zoomer, which is Lucas and Max, and then Will the Wise, and Lucas and Max finally are able to be together because his whole thing with Max, and it's actually that I loved that bit with Max, that whole part of the story, loved that. They can go off and live their life. Will being gay, his life, you just see him as an adult in a bar meeting a guy, and it's Will being an integral part of this whole. I don't know how you feel about it, boys. But Will's been an integral part of this whole story since day .1, that you've just brought him to being gay in a bar, where the rest of them like are writing stories. You don't know if Elle's still alive. Max and Lucas can go off and like live their relationship and do their things. You've got like the older kids, Steve now being a coach and a teacher, and Robin, Nancy doing journalist stuff, and he's just in a gay bar.
So he's a bit of a layabout in his future then, really.
Yeah. He always knew that.
Or has he made it? Is that the goal?
We always knew he was gay, and they've just made a big song and dance about it, and they've just put him as, instead of Will that had all these wonderful qualities, you saw he was a painter and he loved his Dungeons and Dragons, he loved all like these things, and it's just he's gay.
I don't like that.
The whole art thing, wasn't there? Like he used to draw all those pictures of Will the Wise and stuff, and that could have been a thing. He could have been an artist and gay. I mean, I don't know why.
I think the Duffer Brothers just forgot. I think they genuinely just forgot about their characters. I think that's how it felt for me. I think they forgot what made those characters so good. And that's why at the end they just thought, oh, God,
what do we do with Will
now? Like, what?
But it's like this thing that goes on, Miles, with a lot of television shows, especially from America now, where sexuality makes you the person you are. It's all about that. That's the only interesting thing about you and what your pronouns are and all this bull. And it's not. I mean, it's such a shame that they didn't have him, like you were saying there, Kirst, in the future, being a successful artist, having his own gallery or something like that, or being as equal, if not more, successful than his friends, you know. He could have even written a book in the form of the character from his experience. It could be a science fiction novel writer, you know. And yet they've just made it all about the sexuality, Kirsty. It's shocking.
You could have easily done a scene. You're right that it's him in an art gallery, and he's got a partner. Someone comes up to him, and you see him like doing that, and you see all his art. We've totally been cool with that, but you just subject
pat him on the ass, something just normal.
Makes it a little bit, from what you're saying, what's happened to him, makes it a bit sleazy, to be quite honest. You know, I don't really appreciate that. But again, it's the state of television now, isn't it? Oh, we've got to have a gay character. We've got to have this particular character or whatever. And then they mess it up because they don't know necessarily what they're doing with it. That's a shame. We've got Rick Storm in the chat saying to us, the bar is so low now that we'll accept slop as long as it's not as bad as the last two series of Doctor Who. Sorry, but most of us have higher expectations. You're absolutely right. I think when it's coming to something like Netflix, which of course Stranger Things is on, you're paying for that. You are absolutely paying for that. And the same with the BBC. You know, if you have a license, you're paying for that. There is nothing wrong with having high expectations from what you want from your television. And I think they've lost that over the last 20 years. I think now it's just, especially recently, churn anything out. And we see what happens. You get bad reviews, you get bad ratings, You don't get renewed, and nobody seems to care anymore. Just Me Linny is in the chat with us. Hello to you. How are you? Everyone's tired of the woke nonsense. You bet. Correct. Hollywood is withering away. TV shows are repetitive and predictable. There is a pattern to them all, though, isn't there? There really, really is. Derek's saying to us, I did The Martian before season 5 aired on November to January season final. I don't know what that means. You did The Martian. Ooh.
Oh, congratulations.
I know.
Do get yourself checked.
We've got Marie UK is also saying to us, I don't know why they tried to tease a redemption story for Vecna.
Yeah.
And took away his accountability with a magic stone.
That was a weird thing.
Me. What's this then, Phil?
So there was this, so a lot of it happens in his head, and there's a cave that he won't go in because he's frightened of it. And Vecna, sorry.
Right.
And so Holly and Max, when they're escaping, they work out through a series of whatever, good fortune, that there's a mine in there. They go down the mine. That's going to be the way home. But there's a guy in there with this case, and he's going, oh, how did you find me? How did you find me? And it turns out young Vecna, young Henry's found him, and he shoots him in the hand. And that's kind of what you see. And then he looks in this case, but you don't see what's in the case. And that's how it's left for a while. And you're just kind of wondering, well, what's so scary about this? Why is this so scary that, the big bad can't confront it? And then in the end, he does. And it turns out that what's in this case is this kind of stone that glows all red, and it goes into his hand. And then that kind of connects him to the big bad that's in the abyss. And that's when he starts being able to make people's eyes explode, with a thought and stuff like that. So that kind of thing. But then there's this bit where Will's talking to him, and he's kind of saying like, "Oh, we're the same, and you don't have to be." And it looks like he's gonna
fancy him.
Why are you gay?
Yeah, I like you very much.
I think Vecna could do better. Vecna's aiming low.
Bad skin, isn't he?
Yeah. The one with the psoriasis
looks like a crinoid.
Yeah, he's got an axon kind of look.
Yeah, he's got that vibe going on. He must be a distant relation. Hi, wow, yeah, I've got dangly bits. Ooh, yes.
And and he looks for a while like he's gonna. And I honestly thought, oh, he is. He's gonna go good now, and that kind of pissed me off a bit. So I was a bit glad. And then in the end, he twists and he's like, oh no, I chose it though, and I'm like his he makes.
Now, you see, if you guys had come onto the show and said that he had gone good, I wouldn't have been that shocked, because Hollywood and showbiz has this absolute obsession right now with turning everybody that's bad and evil and twisted. Oh, they're just misunderstood. No, they're not. They're bad, they're evil, and they're twisted. Leave them alone. We want our baddies to be baddies. I want the wicked queen to be the wicked queen. I don't want to turn him around and say, no, I was just misunderstood. No, I want Cruella de Vil skinning those dogs. Do you know what I mean? I don't want all this redemption nonsense, quite frankly. I want them to be bad, because that's how young people learn as well, isn't it? What's good and what's bad. You need your bad characters. So if they turn around and done that to Vecna, I wouldn't have been surprised, but I would have been absolutely gutted for everybody watching it. And that, that is invested into it. Jess is saying to us here, Jess Corbin, hello lady, Stranger Things, not so knowledgeable, read that series, but it has garnered a lot of fans. It bloody has. I mean, the thing is quite big.
And the amount of merchandise, we've just got a HMV in Peterborough. It's only taken 200 years. And it's full. I mean, it's just Stranger Things. It's Funko Pops, Dungeons and Dragons, T-shirts, cups, mugs, everything.
Yeah.
Boys, I saw someone the other day that got a dipshit Derek tattoo.
Oh, really?
God.
What, in real life?
Goodness me.
Oh, jeez.
He got Derek on the back of his knee, giving it the, and it just says, suck my fat one.
That is amazing. I like it.
There's this kid he meet in season 5, and he's called Derek, and he's just, I love him.
Is this the little fat one?
Yeah.
Love this child.
But have you seen him running up the stair? Like he's running up a ladder, but he's actually a stunt woman.
Yeah.
It's like he can't actually run up the ladder himself. They get a little fat woman to do it.
So bad.
That's equality for you, isn't it? Honestly, no.
So
the only reason I know about this little, the only reason, Miles, I know about this little kid is, of course, it's all over YouTube at the moment. There's various bits and pieces, And then this morning I saw something where a lot of fans had gone to a cinema in America, because apparently the last couple of episodes or something were on the cinemas in America, all over the States. So the fans were going, and I thought, this is interesting. I'll just have a look and see what the reaction is. And it was interesting. It was great. But there was this little fat character, this little fat lad. And I thought, he looks funny. Was he the comic relief in this then?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He worked out to be something bigger, didn't he? He wasn't just the comic relief.
Was he Lunch?
No, he was. He turned out he had a redemption arc. To be fair, he
I'm
was
not
a dipshit. He then became delightful, and then he went back to being a dipshit and saved the day.
So I don't understand. Explain to me, guys, how this works then. You've got this setup that's been going for 150 years now. You're on this fifth series, the last series. How on earth have they managed to get new characters into the mix? Because you've got your established ones there over the last 4 series.
They're Holly's schoolmates, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's slightly the Duffer Brothers' downfall, that they don't really still work on the main core characters. They just add more into it. And it's just the fun of it that sometimes these characters just disappear. Like Argyle in season 4, the one who was smoking pot all the time.
Yeah.
He just disappears. Vicky, because we've got Will, who's gay, and we've got Robin, who's a lesbian. Her lesbian lover just disappears at the end of it.
In a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
Lesbians tend to do that, quite frankly.
Yeah, there's these characters that just disappear. So they're just very good at just adding characters just for the hell of it. So Derek's actually just a friend of Holly, who is in Holly's year. And Holly's the youngest child of the Wheelers, who is Mike, our big brother's Mike, and our big sister's Nancy, who are part of the Scooby gang.
Right, Nancy, I remember. I liked her.
It's pretty simple, JT. You should know this.
We need a whiteboard, and the three of us have the pen. Just give it all.
The whole thing about it, do you know what this is screaming to me about? Is that you have to go back to series 1, episode 1, and start again and watch it all back to back. And quite frankly, I don't want to, and I haven't got the time. Millywig Zed is saying to us, "Why are you gay?" Is that a line from the? Is that a line from the show?
No, that's I'll send it to you later on. It's a Nigerian thing. I'll send it later on.
Okay, yeah, right. Tell me that. Thanks for that, Millywig. We've got Derek saying to us, sorry, it was a typo. I meant to say I did the marathon seasons 1 to 4 before series 5. Okay, I started Christmas Eve before getting into a series 5 episode. Well, you did very well if you did 4 seasons of 1-hour episodes each. You did very well. Are you square-eyed now, Derek? Are you like this? Do you need medical assistance? I know people. I can get them to you. Kerr Avon is with us as well. Hello, mate. I've not seen anything from Stranger Things, and I was planning to watch this one. The final chapter has been released, and then buy the bootleg Blu-ray on the cheap. But to hear the reviews, the bootleg, don't be saying that on this show. Don't make me read that out. I bet you do bring out, Kerr Avon. I bet you do bring out something now, eventually, after Netflix have made a bit of viewing and all that sort of stuff. I bet you they bring out a whole 5-series box set for a couple £100. You know, I bet they do, and they'll make it like videos or something to make it fit in.
Steelbook.
Yeah. Because I noticed that as well over the last couple of days on the social media. There was just suddenly this explosion, as you were saying, Phil, of all this brand new merchandise that was released just now. All this 80s flavored stuff, and I thought, my God, wow.
There's Polly Pockets, which I actually thought was quite cool. Honestly, too manly to buy one, but there's like a Polly Pocket walkie-talkie that opens up, and you get like a little play set of the Stranger Things and stuff. And there's the Legoses. There's been the Legoses for ages.
Oh yeah, mate of mine got Lego for Christmas. Is the Stranger Things thing, yeah.
And B&M's full of the food as well. There's Stranger Things crisps and lollies, and we had some Pop-Tarts. We had some black and red Pop-Tarts.
Oh my God, I don't want a bit of Vecna, thank you. Millywig Zed is saying to us here, that evil becomes good, normalized by a kids' TV show called Steven Universe. Always convinces the baddies into becoming good. I just don't agree with it, Millywig. As much as I liked the first Maleficent film with her, Jolie in it. Less said about her, the better. But, I watched her and I quite liked it. But I thought, no, Maleficent was bad. She was evil. She was fabulous. Don't mess with them all. Let them be. You've got to have good and evil in them. That's where Doctor Who went wrong as well, wasn't it? David Shaw saying to us, what about a Dungeons and Dragons new cartoon reboot? It would be good to see Venger and Dungeon Master again. I have to say, throughout the show, when they've all been talking about Dungeons and Masters, I just think of that little fella with the bald head and the red cloak in the cartoon, don't you, David? So running around. And the unicorn, Uni. Yes.
Uni, yeah.
Remember Uni?
So when my boy plays Dungeons and Dragons, I have to be Dungeon Master. And I like to think of myself as a little dumpy bold man.
Well, you're quite right too. I mean, it's just bizarre. They have tried to reboot it several times, though, and it's never worked. I don't know if you saw it, David, but there was an advert. We're going off on a tangent now. There was an advert here in the UK for a car, which was more faithful to the cartoon with the characters in it than the actual reboots, the film and stuff that have come through. Do you remember that, guys? Remember the advert for the car where all the Dungeons and Dragons live action actors were in it? That was brilliant, that. Do you not remember that
film, the recent film was amazing, I thought. And that had, like, in the background, you could see the cartoon kids dressed up like real life.
Oh, really?
Say again?
That was a great movie. That was great.
Is that the one with Chris Pine in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen
Really
it.
good. Really enjoyed it.
I think it's on Amazon Prime now. I'm not sure. Kerry Avon is saying to us, I don't think I'll bother at all, as it seems so rushed and damaging the characters for the only offering that Netflix had. What a waste of potential.
No. I don't know. Right, Kerry Avon, don't be put off by me, because some of it is really, really good. There are elements of it that are brilliant, but then there are other elements of, I still like going to the coffee shop for a malt, and I still like going and drinking Coke and whatever. I just don't like girls. There's them bits, but they're fleeting. The good bits, you know, of Demogorgons chasing people, and how Vecna tricks, because they're all in his head, and then he tricks the guy who was married to Lily Allen into shooting, or he thinks he shot Elle, so he gets her out, but actually he hadn't done anything. He just freed her so that she'd be out of his head. I mean, bits like that, which I've just completely spoiled, so don't bother. But bits like that are really, really good. There's elements that are fantastic. But then there are elements that are 10 minutes of kids graduating that aren't yours. And I don't care.
What I love as well is it goes with the season 4 with the whole thing of Max being trapped.
Yeah.
The end of season 4 is horrible for one of the characters called Max. And because she was grieving throughout the whole of season 4, and she's in a really depressed state. So Vecna's picking people with things going on in their life. And she managed to trick him with Kate Bush, but that doesn't work in the end. And she ends up all with her limbs all broken, and she's blind, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
In season 5, she's pretty much in, you think she's in a coma, but actually she's in the mind of Henry Vecna, number 1, and she's quite a smart girl, so it's her trying to get out, and eventually Holly, the wee girl, she's in it as well, and it's the whole wrinkle in time elements are thrown into it as well. But then Max waking up and that whole thing with the demodogs in the hospital, and Mama Wheeler with trying to blow them up, that's wicked. Definitely, like, those elements are brilliant. And then Mama Wheeler at the start trying to get rid of the Demogorgon, and she ends up getting her throat slashed. That's proper, like, she's a drunk. She's trying to, like, get all these younger guys, and you just think she's like the mum out of Matilda, but actually she goes proper mama bear, and like is going for the Demodog with the bottle of wine, and she really, like, earns her keep in this series.
Right.
So there's elements of that.
Wow, this is amazing. It sounds quite complicated, but I suppose if you have invested in the 4th series and you're not like me, and you've managed to remember what's been going on over the last 25 years, it must be quite exciting to get into this. Personally, just for me, it's just taken far too long. I don't want all the, they say this about television now, don't they? Oh, this is the way television is today. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, oh, let's wait 3 or 4 years between series. Just get it bloody done. Because not everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people like me that'll just go, is that still going? I don't know. We've got Jess saying to us, I don't watch NF, too much controversy over there, changing those, for instance, historically portrayed to fit the narrative. We've got Davey saying to you, Phil, I've been in that HMV. There's a lot of Stranger Things stuff there. Makes you remember the days when there was a lot of Doctor Who stuff in there. I saw the prices for the Jodie and Disney era DVD tags. Yes. It's very interesting, isn't it? That random bloke is with us saying, "Who said I am gay?" I'm going to get that on a T-shirt.
You are gay.
No, who said? Who said that? Thank you for that random bloke. And Millywig is saying, "Oh, dog on stream. Show the dog."
Well, she's getting a bit bitey now. Here she is. And she's been watching Stranger Things with me, haven't you? And she fell asleep for the second hour last night.
The poor dog. You put it through that. Lots of people in the chat with us, Steve. Nice to see you. 67 Rambling, hello to you, is saying, do you believe we're getting a new episode? So you mentioned this earlier, Kirsty. Is it likely from what you three have seen that there could be a brand new episode coming out anytime soon?
No.
It will eat by Hughes Views merchandise if it happens.
Nah.
It's going to happen.
If there was, I would be so annoyed that I sat through 2 hours of absolute waffle. Well, no, an hour of good and an hour of absolute turd to find out that it was all a dream. Right, you can jump on.
Rick is also saying, LOL, not a chance. Miles, why would you think there's not going to be another one coming soon?
There just couldn't be, and I don't think the Duffers. I think they totally had given up on this season. I think they thought, "Oh God, how do I end this?" And I don't think there's going to be any way they could come up with. It shows how tired they were by the end of this. That I don't think they could be that clever to come up with another special last episode. But it does show you that the fan base thought it was that crap that there must be another episode. There has to be another one to finish.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Like they genuinely thought it was that bad.
Have you seen any feedback from the Stranger Things fan base then? You know, because I haven't seen anything like what we would do, where there's a review necessarily. I mean, they must be out there. I just haven't found them. Where we would do reviews of Doctor Who or whatever. You know, for the Shooty Gapper stuff, we were quite rightly critical because it was crap. Have you heard anything from the Stranger Things fan base about the series that's just been made available?
It's a mixed bag out there.
Right.
It's quite nice from what I've seen. Because with like the Doctor Who world, if you say I don't like this episode, you can send a lynch mob after you.
Yeah.
For this one, it's what I've seen personally. I don't know if it's different for others. There's a whole world wide web out there. But what I've seen flicking through like TikTok and Instagram is that actually folks are wanting to hear theories. They're wanting to hear what you thought of it. They're okay if you liked it. They're saying that people we're that feared nowadays. They're going into people's pages, putting a crash helmet on, going, am I going to get hate for saying I actually quite enjoyed this or I didn't like it? And people are like, no, it's a safe space. Like, you can come and chat to us, tell us how it is, which is me. That's, for me personally, what about you guys? That's all I've ever wanted for years since all of this woke malarkey crap that's come into this world and come into us. So it's been actually all right.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear. I mean, I mean, any fan base, we're all the same. You're never going to absolutely get 100%, or it's very rare that you get 100% of us on board. It can be done. I am convinced it can be done. It's much more difficult in this day and age, but I'm sure it can be done somewhere. But it's nice to hear that, you know, people are agreeing to disagree, basically, in that fandom. That's good. 67 Rambling is interesting. I think it's a decent ending. They've managed to line up a lot of spin-off series. They are very smart with what they do with their marketing, so they play into the hype and make us think we're getting something else when we aren't.
Yeah,
I think the ending is fine. Like the whole battle thing, and then the end of that is fine. It was just, it didn't stop.
Yeah. I've seen something like that. I've seen something like that before film. For the life of me, I can't remember where it was, but you're sitting there and there's ending after ending after ending after ending, and eventually you're just sitting there going, would you just please finish?
Yeah.
Because you run out of patience.
And that's where I was, which I think I possibly texted in our group chat last night, which was, does this bloody end or not? Because it just kept going. And I'm not in science fiction-y things for the soap opera elements. I
No.
don't really care about them, and that was just it was EastEnders-y stuff at the end for me.
I can't believe that a lot of science fiction now, it's similar, it's same to an extent with the new versions of Star Trek, which I'm not a big fan of. Doctor Who, we know, is definitely guilty of it. There's so much soap opera element in it. And the whole thing about science fiction and why science fiction was always popular is because it was different to everything else that was out there. And there was none of that science, soap opera nonsense in stuff. It's a shame that they've gone down that route. We all seem to be jumping on that similar bandwagon now, thinking that's what the public want. No, it's not. It's what you're giving to us. It's a shame. Rick's saying to us here, the writing and execution between season 1 and season 5 are so far removed. It differs really. They didn't know how to finish this. Would you guys agree with that? Would you? Because I would have expected them to have, when they set up series 1, knowing this thing was going to run for quite a while, I would have expected them to have a game plan. Was there any evidence of that as far as you're concerned?
They didn't actually know that they were going to get commissioned for a season 2, so they only just had a game plan for season 1 and had to go from there. But I don't know how much truth it is into it. That one of the brothers, his wife was a writer as well, and she helped do season 1 to 4. But in between 4 and 5, they divorced, and she's bounced from the program. So that kind of maybe
that makes sense.
But Russell has. Russell doesn't. He doesn't have someone telling him that maybe it's the wifey's because she's bounced. That's not helped, because pretty much they write it, and then you've got Sean Levy from Deadpool and Wolverine. He directs it and produces it as well. So it's quite a knit team. I don't know about you guys.
I kind of felt they were just making it up as they went along. And I know it's fiction, so that's all anybody does. But it did just feel a bit like it was like, what can we do here? Oh, okay, we'll just do that. And and I think somebody mentioned in the chat, I have got it, there was things like, didn't being in the Upside Down used to kill you? Like when they were in those tunnels and stuff.
Used to be bad for you.
Yeah, and now there's like an actual scientific base there and everyone works there.
Yes and no. They weren't sure in the first couple of series what the effects of being in the Upside Down was. Papa would wear the hazmat suits, because they got tested it and weren't sure. And then Hopper, I think it's season 1 or 2, the first couple of times that he's down there, he ends up just touching something or something sprays him and he spews. But then they figure out that it's okay to be down there. But then they treat it like a VIP lounge nowadays. They're just going down there for a holiday.
Well, that's the thing. I remember him being ill in some tunnels. Oh, and I think it was like one of the episodes ended with somebody collapsed in a tunnel from breathing it in or something.
I vaguely remember that as well from the early days.
Yeah, and then I was a bit like, oh, okay. Yeah. We're obviously, we built up immunity. We've had vaccines or whatever. We're all good now.
Did they actually ever say what the Upside Down was and where it is?
In great depth.
X. I was going to help you out with this one. It's a Dimension X that is not just the Upside Down. It's the best way to put it is Papa says it's a dam, and Vecna is like causing, in season 4, he's causing cracks into this dam, and there's a rift. And we don't know yet until season 5 that actually it's not just the Upside Down. There's a whole Dimension X, and there's the Abyss, and there's like a wormhole, and it's all getting a bit expansy at the same time. I was slightly confused about that. It was a really cool scene where like the wall gets broken, and the tree comes through, and it's all in slow-mo. But I was a bit confused about that. Was one of those duffer things going, we can make it like this, and we can make it like that. Yeah.
Unreal. So it's as though they've just added it on as an explanation or something because they knew they had to. Yeah.
So you got Vecna's world, and then there's the tunnel to our world, and then the Upside Down is in the middle. And that's because it's that shape. That's the wall.
And that would make a great Lego scene.
Probably will.
Is that available in the Lego shops now? Let's have it. Yeah, it's very. What you guys are saying is very mixed between the three of you as to Stranger Things 5. Was it worth? Did it pay off? Was it worth it at the end of the day? 5 series in. Go on, Miles. Go on.
It's a hard one for me. I've got because I think I've only ever watched them once each season. I haven't ever gone back and rewatched them. So I think that's why I'm a bit skew-iff with it. I don't remember liking season 4, and I think it was because it was filmed during COVID, so they had to split them all up, didn't they? And I came away from that not really enjoying that season. Maybe if I rewatched it now, I would like it. I think for the whole build-up to get to this and not really have a there's so many things going on. Why were the military in it if they were just gonna forget about them last minute? There were so many weird things like the levers would change color in different scenes, so everyone thought that's why it was a part of it being some sort of dream thing, and adding on so many filler adding on so many characters that it just bloats up the story. And all the main characters that we've all we've grown up with, like Mike and all them lot, have all been shoved to the sides. Mike had no story this season at all. Poor bastard, he had nothing. Like, they just got moved to the side.
And yet he was one of the main characters.
He was the main one. Yeah.
I think you're being a bit harsh, Miles, because he did have that wonderful scene as they're climbing up the tower where he's with Will and he says, "I should have been a better." And you're like, "Oh, we're doing this again, are we?" I mean, we're climbing a massive tower to basically hell where the evil one is. But no, let's just have a chat about this now. I thought that was a magical moment.
I don't know.
A huge disservice, Miles.
For me, it didn't pay off. I don't know. It didn't pay off for me. I didn't. There was just, I think as well, it was hyped up for so long. I think it didn't help that we waited 4 years for this. I think if it had only been a couple of years, it would have been too bad. But 4 years of hype, and they kept telling us, "Oh, all these people are going to die. Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath." Was it? No. They couldn't even commit to killing off Elle. They had to go, "Oh, but she could be alive." Nah. No. So it's a no from me.
Okay. What about you two?
Go on, Kirsty.
Harsh from Dalek Shalom here, by the way. Millie Bobby Brown ruins most things she's in. Harsh. Possibly true, but harsh.
The lady of the chat can't stand her, and he's actually I've watched season things, Stranger Things, and he's it out, and I've been waiting for it over the Christmas period, and he actually was invested, so I had to give the whole whiteboard presentation of who's who in the game. He's gone back and watched a few of it, but he can't stand Millie Bobby Brown. Every time she's on stream, he's just like, "Get her off," because she's like, "You get." The ending of season 5, I can't really give a conclusive answer because I don't know what I was expecting, and I think people are still a bit butthurt from Game of Thrones in 2019 that they did not stick the landing. And
that's so long ago. Goodness me.
People like us have been hurt with TV shows and movies for a long time that we have invested in, and they have just shat on us. So I wasn't sure what I was expecting. It's a nice, pleasant ending. I wish, a bit like Miles, that there had been something. There'd been a death. There'd been something big, because the Duffer Brothers shouldn't have done press tours, bigging themselves up, and us being disappointed. I would recommend people watching Stranger Things in a whole and doing season 5 to see, because this Doctor Who channel that we branch out to other things. I have to back up on that front that it's been nice to have a science fiction show where at times they can just go a little bit of this and a little bit of that to add, and you can just go, yeah, cool. You can sort of forgive them on that approach with the writing on people disappearing and why is this and why is that. So I would recommend it. I can't give a conclusive answer if I did stick the landing because I wasn't sure what I was expecting.
Okay.
I'm okay with the ending. I hope they don't do any reboots or they do kind of sequels. Just leave it at that. It's a magic thing that you sort of can think, is Elle still alive or is Elle not alive? That's my thoughts.
So no spin-offs or anything like that in your... No.
I hope we don't.
No, just leave it as a... What about you, Phil? Did you think it...
I don't think I've invested the same time that you two have, because I kind of crammed it all in at the end of last year. And I think, a few crap bits. Yeah. I think if they'd have stopped it after Winona Ryder had finished doing her thing inside the big spider thing,
right?
I would have sat here and said, yes, it was really good. And I was quite happy with that. Everyone was angry. That rage has come out. Bosh, it's dead. Finish it. And I think I'd have come in here kind of buzzing, really, if that had happened. I really did find that last terrible sort of scenes that they just kept adding on to the end awful. But yeah, I think if you stopped it there, absolutely, yeah, I think it pays off all right. I don't think it's a bad ending.
No.
Okay. All right.
It's very kind of classic. The big monster is the biggest thing you've ever seen, and then they defeat it with the power of being a team, and that's kind of okay. I'm an 80s child. That's how 80s films end. The big bad is big bad, and you defeat it as a team.
Your will is the power of gay.
Yes, your will is simply being homosexual is enough.
Ridiculous. Let's have a look in the chat. We've got 67 rambling saying to us, it will take a lot, and I mean a lot of time, for people to appreciate this last season. Interesting. Steve Braddock saying to us, season 5 is not my favorite, but it could have been a disaster. I'm just happy we got a good ending with a payoff. Okay, fair enough. We've also got here, Matt is with us. Hello, Matt. I don't think people understand the ending. None of this story actually happened. It was all a campaign of Dungeons and Dragons, as shown at the beginning and the end.
See, I would have flipped my table. I would have flipped my lid if it finished off and it was back, because there was a theory that it was going to finish with the 4 of them as CGI children just playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it was all just an illusion. I would have flipped my lid. That's a cop-out. I would have been annoyed. Like, I can accept what's happened with how it ended. If it ended like that, I would have come on Legion.
Oh, damn it. I would have loved that.
I think possibly this needs some explanation, because it does, like, the closing titles is like the rule books for Dungeons and Dragons. So there's some kind of, sketch drawings and some, roll D6s, information around underneath the closing titles, and then the last shot is the front of a book that says Stranger Things, a role-playing game for 2 to 4 players or whatever.
So Matt could be right then.
Well, but I took that, and maybe because we just had that whole thing about, and I've forgotten his name. That's how important a role he played in this season. Miles, what was his name?
Will.
No, the other guy is not Will.
Mike.
He was about being a writer. I took it to mean that was what he went on to do, that he went on to make a game that was Stranger Things, the role-playing game.
Same.
Based on the fact, that he used to like to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Interesting.
But I guess it's vague enough we can interpret it how we want it. Correctly, like me and Miles, or incorrectly, isn't it?
That'll be something that the Stranger Things nerds will be talking about now forever, really, won't it? That particular ending. Rick is saying to us, it took longer for Will to come out than it took to kill Vecna.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Do you know, actually, people have counted it, that it took longer for Will to come out than it did for them to capture the Venezuelan president.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's amazing.
That's very good. I just don't understand why they had to make a big song. I honestly, it does annoy me as a gay man myself.
I think you should watch it, JT. I think
I don't have Netflix
warm
anymore.
The cockles of your heart.
I don't have.
I'll
Netflix
FaceTime you. I'll FaceTime you. Leave the room myself because I cringed so hard I hurt my back. It was like, but I'll let you
the whole
watch
thing
it.
about making gay people a victim. We are not victims. It's just sexuality. Get over it, Hollywood. Get over it, show business. Get over alleged entertainment. It's not a big thing at all. And I can't stand all this, I'm gay. Oh, get a bloody grip. It's not the 70s anymore. You know, move it on. I mean, how are you supposed to give positive role models to young people watching this if you're just going to make a big song and dance about this sort of nonsense? Nobody should care. It's only the minority of flag-waving personal pronoun ninnies that do care today. Nobody else does, I can assure you. Thanks for that, Rick. What we got here as well, we've got Derek here saying to us, as Phil mentions, where it ended reminds me when Tennant was taking his time to regenerate, had to go to various companions before he played.
God.
I was the same with that. I was like,
I was the same with that.
gonna die or what?
Exactly. Just get over it. Get over it.
Big
Hurry.
Colin, he fell to the floor, rolled over. Bosh. That's how you do it. Be more sick, doctor.
I know. Yeah, Tom Baker fell off a big thing, didn't he?
Fell off a telescope.
He did, Chodrell Bank. You know, just get on with it. Marie UK saying to us, I'm not angry with the ending, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting much anyway. The more you overhype something, you know it's going to be bad. The whole thing about this, Marie, of course, was, as I've said through the show, it's taken so bloody long for whatever reason. And I think this is an example, I'm not wanting to pee anybody off, but I think Stranger Things is an example of how not to do television. Don't do it with bloody big gaps in between the series. Don't do it that way. Do it as efficiently as you can, you know. But don't do it with blooming great big gaps in where you're going to lose your cast because they're growing up. You know, if you're going to have a young cast, or some of them would, you know, some of them might not come back, and then you've got to change your whole. Don't do television like this. I just can't be done with it. That's just me. Rory Neal, hello, Rory. Stranger Things, even when bad, is still better than RTD2. I'm sure it is, mate. I'm sure it is. What the hell was that?
That's my dog growling on my lap.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought a new character was coming in then. I thought it was a Vecna character or something coming in. Sausages. Interesting. So, will this be Austin? Hello, Austin. Look at this. Austin Woods is with us for 500 mil in 3 years. This ending was awful, says Austin.
Oh, God, was it 500 million?
It was a disgustingly massive amount. So I would be surprised if it was.
Oh, I could do better for 500 million. I'd have done it for 498.
It was a lot of money.
I had no idea, but then we are dealing with Netflix, who are minted at the moment. Although they seem to be, in my opinion, ruining everything. I'm dreading the Chronicles of Narnia series.
Oh yeah,
dreading that. You know,
it's the person who's doing Narnia is the same person who did Barbie.
That's right. Yes.
Oh,
and that's the only reason she's got it. So she's just going to ruin it all, isn't it? I'm terrified as to what they're going to do with them. And let's face it, they are very, very, you know, treasured British novels. It's very important to us over here in the UK and the Narnia series of books. I'm not quite sure that anybody outside of the UK would actually be able to understand that. Really.
Well, there's been a few attempts. Like Disney did a few of the novels.
The films were not too bad, I thought. The films were okay with Walden down in New Zealand, but they ran out of money, didn't they? And it got.
And I don't think outside of the UK they're that beloved. Like we'd have liked to have carried the movies on, but I don't know if.
No, I don't think.
I don't that bothered.
No, I don't. I think they're very quintessentially British, like everything else. You know, Doctor Who, Robin Hood, you know, everything. Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, quintessentially British, and then they go get sort of messed up when they translate out the UK. Theodore Benton saying, morning all, my Peter loves this series and has CDs, soundtracks as well. It's great to see you all. It's good to see you as well, Theodore. Hope you are well, and good morning to you. And Austin is saying to us, this had bigger gaps and absolutely fabulous. True. At least with AbFab, though, you could believe it because the characters were, it was totally different and it was a comedy, wasn't it? So you could believe the bigger gaps. And also it's because, well, Jennifer probably just didn't want to write, to be honest. I've heard things. That's all I'm saying. It's all alleged. Well, that was brilliant. Listen, thank you. Interesting. Is it a recommend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would absolutely recommend the show as a whole. Yeah.
Good. Well, there you go then, everybody. It's a recommend from the panel. I don't know.
We spent an hour telling you it was crap, and now we're going, yeah, you should watch it.
And it's fantastic. Goodbye.
Yeah. I suppose if you've invested in it, you can't really not watch it, can you? Unless you're me.
Even when it's bad, it's kind of engaging. I mean, it's not unwatchable.
Okay.
I know, because that sounds awful. Also sounds like it's bad, but it's not. When it's good, it's really, really good.
Right. And it's just got these other bits.
But when it's crap, it's really crap.
It peaks and troughs. I'm not selling it. If you want to watch it, Kai.
When it gets you're at like there's for me personally, there's bits it's like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 if we were doing like a score on the upside down door. But when it's like it's like a 7 with a 6, which is still, I'm on the concept with like TV shows at times. It's like Mama Ray's no quitter. I will try and see it out to the end, sort of thing. So I will stay with it. And my whole Christmas has been geared up towards this blooming program that I was like, I've been waiting for it for years. That I would recommend it. You just have to, like all TV shows, peaks and flows, you stick with it. But definitely, this being a predominant Doctor Who YouTube channel, that we've just been gagging for some sci-fi for years from what we've got, and we've not. This is sci-fi. And there are some feelings in corridors, but it's okay feelings in corridors. And apart from the ending with Will, you're not going to get smacked in the head with propaganda, and you're not thinking the right way. The soundtrack's the soundtrack's brilliant. I am not a child of the 80s, but I love the feel of the 80s. I love the soundtrack. I personally, if you're going to watch Stranger Things, the whole thing with Max and Kate Bush still gives me chills. Love that.
It's annoying though, isn't it? Because they play the same bit of the song.
Running up the hill.
Yeah.
And you'll get a copyright strike for that. But it's that same bit every time. The same bit.
That's because that was probably because they couldn't afford any other bit.
Because
when that was originally done in the other series, Kate Bush earned a fortune because suddenly all this it brought a whole load of new fans to Kate Bush. And by God, there's a huge body of work there, and a huge body of work still to come because she's always working. So, the fact that they discovered Kate Bush, so maybe she just turned around and said, you can have the same amount of my tune for the same amount of money, perhaps. No, we love Kate Bush. It wasn't Babushka, it was running up that hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it would be cool for Babushka that she's just running around like,
we love Kate Bush. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about the scores on the upside down board?
Go on.
Well, if you do a 6, is it an upside down 9? Or is it...
No.
Oh God.
I'm struggling with the concept of the upside down board.
I'm just glad that they gave some sort of explanation as to what that whole thing was, because it was quite confusing. It was intriguing, I seem to remember in series 1 about this whole thing and where it had come from and what was that. And that was the science fiction element I remember actually quite liking. I thought this is where it's going to go. It's just I'm glad there was some sort of explanation there, and that the fans have had some sort of resolution, because it was a long time for them. A lot of them would have been kids when it first started, but that's it, isn't it? I mean, what a shame. Please don't make television like this anymore. It's ridiculous. Just get it done. Get it done. Honestly. But yeah, a lot of you praising Kate Bush now in the chat, quite rightly too. Absolutely. Listen, I've really enjoyed that. It hasn't made me want to go and rush out and watch it, to be quite honest.
Sorry.
No. But part of that is just because it's the 5th. And it's taken 16,000 years to get through. And I can't be bothered going back to the first one and watching it all again, because I've watched them all. I just don't retain the information again. I can't remember because it's too long. It's too long.
It's just one long, massive film now, though. That's how I've consumed it. One long, massive film with a few, a month or so in between at the end. And that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. Listen, to Phil, to the lady of chat, Kirsty, and to Miles. Listen, thank you so much for a great show. Thank you for coming on and telling us all about it. And to Doggy as well. Pepsi and Shirley. There they are there.
You've not got a Shirley yet.
Which one's which? Anyway, we'll be back soon. Make sure, please, look, thanks for joining us in the chat. Nice to see you all. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Give the show a thumbs up as well and do all the usual stuff. Share it if you want. Yes, believe in it. Yes, get it, share. Whoa, believe. Yeah, get all that done. And yeah, recommend us to a friend. Why don't you? Why don't you do that? Recommend us to a friend. We're going to be back very soon with more because we've only just started. We only just started for 2026. We've got a hell of a lot more coming up for you. Make sure you stay tuned. So from Phil, from Kirsty, from Miles, and myself, have a great rest of the day, great rest of the evening. We'll see you again. Thanks for joining us. Ta-ra, everyone.
Cheerio.
Bye.